Yeah.
All right, so let's do it. Speaking of Disney,
That's a great segue, man.
is it though? It's kind
Yeah.
of a sad segue. It was like the worst segue ever. But I mean, it had the same subject. So we're playing James's games. And those of you who do not know it, and actually Santori is the only one who has not played it, you played a different version of James's games last time you were on the show. James's games is a fun thing that I made up, and it's just the games that we have. And this is another one of our bracket games, which is always fun. Now, we have 4 people in the bracket games. Here's how this is going to work. I am going to ask a question. I'm going to give you 2 options. You got to pick the best one. I'm going to go in order. Only one of you will talk at a time. If there's a tie, I will be the one to break the tie. We're going to go until we have a final. And the subject that we're talking about is Disney movies. We are ranking Disney movies. I wrote this like 3 weeks ago.
Your face right there, Dave.
I wrote this shit like 3 to 4 weeks ago for another previous show. So I don't know what order I put them in. They're not by highest grossing. They're just random order. So we're going to start the bracket. And so the first 2 movies that are going against each other is the musical adventure Fantasia, where we get Sorcerer Mickey, or The Lion King. I am going to start in the way my camera looks. It will be to my right and circle around. So, Santori, which movie moves on? Fantasia or The Lion King?
Have you seen either of those?
Yes, I have, and they're both great. No, they are. This is tough because they're both great. But I'm going to have to go with Fantasia.
Santori pushes through Fantasia. All right. We're going to go, Dave. Dave, you're the next one in line. What are you going to say? What moves forward, Fantasia or The Lion King?
Oh, I think Lion King. Fantasia, I can't get to. It is boring as shit, but Lion King is so fucking good they made 2 different versions of it.
So it's being thrown down. That puts it to Chris. Chris, you're going to get your shout out now.
Boring.
See, he already pointed out the Kimba thing. But no, I'm going to go with Fantasia because it was the last big thing that they did when Disney was kind of going in an experimental direction right before World War II broke out, and you couldn't afford to do that. So it was a glimpse at an alternate path Disney could have taken.
Oh, there you go. So Chris is giving you like the film, the importance of film and historia behind Fantasia.
It's
Santori,
called the pretentious view.
the pretentious view. That's right. Chris is representing the pretentious view. Santori just pushed out Fantasia. Dave is out there saying that Lion King's was so good at they made it twice. Nancy, that goes to you. Where are you going to go?
Well, I would argue it needed to be made again. You know, maybe there was something lacking the first time. No, actually, I picked Fantasia just because I thought it was beautifully made, and I'm a music geek, so I liked the interpretation of the music individuals. I could see why it would be boring for some, but personal preference. And Lion King freaking traumatized me as a kid. Like, that's a terrible idea. Your dad could die in front of you one day. Like, you know, my dad had type 1 diabetes. I was already aware of that, but I didn't need the reminder.
Wow. Dave, you got shut down. But I gotta tell you, buddy, I was with you too. I would have gone Lion King over Fantasia. How does it feel to be completely outvoted? Like,
You know, Hakuna Matata is what I'm saying.
There you go. But Dave, that's good because you got to start this next one off. So Lion King is out of this bracket, but we have Sleeping Beauty versus Tarzan. Already with Dave.
I do like Tarzan, man, but Sleeping Beauty is classic. It's a classic Disney movie. Disney's building castles in their parks because of this movie. I don't fucking remember anything except for Rosie O'Donnell as a gorilla from Tarzan, and Phil Collins did the soundtrack. I don't remember anything from that movie. So Sleeping Beauty.
Dave goes for the classic this time. He goes with the Sleeping Beauty. All right, Nerd Corner. What are you gonna tell me on that? You gonna follow with Dave, or you gonna go your own way?
You know, I like Tarzan. I think it's one of those. I wouldn't say it's a classic, but I don't think it gets enough credit. But no, Sleeping Beauty, just awesome animation, and it's iconic. It scared the crap out of me as a little kid.
Right. Okay, so this may be lopsided. Nancy, we're going to go to you. We may not even need to go to Santori. Are you going to fight? Will I be
Yes,
there in your heart?
Santori.
Will I be there in your heart? Are you going to knock Tarzan out before it even has a chance?
I mean, it's no contest. Sleeping Beauty is it's a classic when compared to Tarzan in particular. I liked 2 songs in the movie, and I love those 2 songs way more than any of the movies. So.
Well, there you go. Santori, we have no use for you on this question.
That's fine. I didn't want to play anyway.
But out of
Throws
curiosity,
the camera down.
Tarzan, was that where you're going to go?
No, I was gonna go Sleeping Beauty because I never seen Tarzan.
I was going to go Sleeping Beauty, too. That was definitely an unstacked, competition. But there you got a shit ton of great movies. There was always going to be some unstacked competition in there. Moving down the line, following the way that we were doing it thus far, Chris, you get to start off. And it is a classic versus a new one again. We have Inside Out versus 101 Dalmatians.
Ooh, that's a good one.
These, in my mind, these are both good within their own genres. So where are you going to go? The new Inside Out, or are you going to do 101 Dalmatians? Chris?
I like Inside Out. I mean, they did a good job of of exploring like the ideas and themes they wanted to do. It's not my favorite Pixar. Once again, I'm gonna go with 101 Dalmatians. Just it's that classic Disney animation. I don't know. It's hard to like. I can't explain exactly why. It's just because it's the classic. It's
Chris
the
is
animation.
sticking with
It's
the pretentious
wholesome. It
answer.
feels warm and nice in a quarantine.
Chris is sticking with the pretentious answers and going with 101 Dalmatians, which is a fair way to go. Nothing wrong with loving the classics.
It's a warm blanket.
It is a warm blanket. Nancy, what about you? Are you going to go with Inside Out or the 101 Dalmatians?
I'm going Inside Out because I mean normally it's 101 Dalmatians is okay, but it wasn't even my favorite of the old movies anyway. So whereas Inside Out really stuck out as one of the Pixar ones that it's honestly one of my favorite because I really love the emotions behind the story. It all takes place in San Francisco, and I'm a Bay Area girl, so there's some of that. But also like and maybe it's partly having kids that were transitioning into teenagers as that movie came out. So there was that part of me who wondered like what part of the brain is working in you today, and then at the end there's that part where she hugs her parents and she breathes, and I've had that before, where it's like, this is fucking over, thank you. And I know that's not how teenage really works, she can have many more days like that, but it was just it was a satisfying moment emotionally.
Yeah, it very much is. Santori, what are you going to say?
You need me to participate now, huh?
Yeah, you get to participate in it.
Suddenly he's valid.
Now, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I might just keep it to myself. 101 Dalmatians.
Really?
Yep.
That's because you're nothing but the one character.
That's because I never seen the new.
That's what I was guessing.
There you go. So Dave, you either push it over to me. He hasn't seen Inside Out. You either push it over to me or you take 101 Dalmatians on. What's it going to be?
So are we talking about which is the better of the movies, or are we talking about which is my favorite of the two?
Which is your favorite of the two?
Inside Out is my favorite of the two, hands down. Probably the better.
The better. I'm sorry, better. I want to know your favorite. Which one's the better of the two?
Wait.
I think the better of the two is 101 Dalmatians, because we're talking about another iconic Disney movie versus a really, really great Pixar movie. But personally, I enjoy Inside Out more, but I think the better movie in the long run is 101 Dalmatians.
Well, and you can't beat that Glenn Close performance.
No, that's not.
Get really mad for a minute. Be like, you were picking the live action over Inside Out.
Can you believe it? Well, we're not going to have the same problem that we had before, except maybe that Santori may not have seen both the two before. But the next two are both within the same, really close within their genre. So we are going Moana and Princess and the Frog.
Oh, okay.
Nancy, we start with you. Moana or Princess and the Frog. I think there's a heavy favorite, but I think people could be surprised by this one. I don't know. We'll see. Nancy?
Oh, me first. Sorry. Okay. Well, I swear to God, I didn't even know we were doing this today. Okay. But I bought my first pair of sweatpants ever since I was a kid. And I don't know if you can see, but that should answer your question.
So, Nancy's sweatpants say Moana to move on to the next round. Santori, which is the better of the movie, Princess and the Frog or Moana?
Have you seen
Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog.
Yeah? Have you seen them both?
Yes. I seen Princess and the Frog.
There you go.
Moana.
I like Princess and the Frog. That's a fun
I do
one.
too.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, man, I love Princess and the Frog too. It's really fun, but Moana. Lin-Manuel Miranda does the music.
Yeah.
That right there put it over the edge.
The Rock did good. Yeah. No, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Chris, is this going to be? Does Mike get outvoted again? Are you pushing it on, or?
I like him. I like both of them, and big jazz person, so I like Princess and the Frog. But Jermaine Clement in Moana doing Tamatoa as Bowie, like I got to go with Moana.
Yeah. And
That was just like that. That was just a moment of zen for me seeing that in the theater. I'm like, oh, it's the Bowie voice. Yeah.
And in my opinion, Princess and the Frog, as far as soundtrack, as far as musicality, Princess and the Frog blows Moana out of the water. But Moana is a better movie. They both have strong female leads, which is it's a newer concept besides, like princess type characters. But Tiana, the lesson there was don't always focus so much on doing what you want to do with your life and have fun. It's not a very motivating life lesson. Whereas Moana, it was go out, do what you're supposed to do. Don't let things get in your way. And I thought that was
hang out with The Rock whenever possible.
That too.
Which is a good life lesson anyhow. All right, so we're back to starting off with Santori again and Moana. Moana moves forward. Next thing that we're going up is Zootopia, which is versus Frozen, the Juggernaut, Juggernaut Frozen versus Zootopia. Mike, Santori, you're going first. Where are you gonna go? You gonna
Frozen.
represent Zootopia?
Frozen.
Yeah, of course. Frozen. This may be an unfair one. Dave, you gonna do something different? You gonna tell me Zootopia is better than Frozen?
No, it's better. Frozen 2 is better than Frozen 1. Frozen 1 much better than Zootopia.
Chris, Zootopia, Frozen.
I haven't seen Zootopia, so I guess Frozen.
Nancy?
Yeah, Frozen. Zootopia was very cute.
It's hard.
It's cute.
It's not going to stand up.
It wasn't a great movie.
Yeah.
It was cute.
No, there was that DMV scene. That was great. But other than that.
I've heard from the internet it made a lot of people
Bateman
ask very uncomfortable questions. That's pretty much the extent of what I know about Zootopia.
Considering the fact that it's about animals, I don't even want to know what those questions were.
Rabbits and foxes.
They were too young for Gadget. They've ruined another generation of Disney people.
Which, by the way, Rescue Rangers were on the most recent episode of DuckTales.
Oh, yeah.
Great. DuckTales is bringing in the entire Disney afternoon for little tidbits on each of their episodes this season. It's awesome. Cool. Okay, here's two ones that might be tough for people to choose from. Tangled, Dave, we're starting with you. Tangled versus Wreck-It Ralph.
That's a tough one because I like them both a lot. I'm going to say Wreck-It Ralph because I think it's funnier.
Okay.
I just think it's funnier. The cast is better. And so I think that puts it over the top, but just by a small amount.
There you go. Chris, Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph?
I like Tangled because when I saw that it was kind of unexpected. It felt kind of classic Disney. Like I like Wreck-It Ralph. I love John C. Reilly and everything, but Tangled just slightly edges it out for me.
So
and
these
good music.
Two are running even with Dave and Chris. Nancy, you're the next one in line. Are you gonna go Tangled or Wreck-It Ralph?
I honestly, I don't know. That's a tough one.
This is probably the most even-footed one.
Yeah, the hardest call so far. I'm gonna go with. This is a hard one. I'm going with Tangled. Yeah. But like that much.
That's what these two are pretty much running right side to side. Santori, you can't.
Ralph.
What are you gonna do?
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph or Tangled?
Ralph.
Ralph. Oh.
All
It's a first
right.
time
It's
in a long
it's
time.
the first tie that came up here. And I agree with everybody across the board about which one is just inching over the other one. You know what? But I'm going to go with, I think I enjoy the songs better in Tangled. And yeah, I think, Tangled's it's going to be Tangled. Tangled gets to move on over Wreck-It Ralph. Tangled
Are
is,
there any songs in Wreck-It Ralph?
no.
And can I see you again?
That's why he likes the songs better in Tangled.
It wins by default.
Right. It wins by default because it had songs in it. Wreck-It Ralph, it was funny, but I think Tangled is all around. When we're deciding what's a better movie, I think Tangled is a better.
For sure. And Chris is right. Like, it reminds you of old school Disney.
Yeah.
You know, you could totally set Robin Hood in the same world that Tangled was.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and what I like with that one, like I saw it years after it came out, and it had been hyped up as like, oh, it felt like old school Disney, and it was one of the few movies where I was like, oh, okay, that lived up to the hype. It was just, it was nice. It was still like witty enough without getting into the whole like Shrek DreamWorks wink wink nudge nudge thing.
Yeah.
It was just enough of that.
Right.
James, they do like the weed flute.
Yeah.
Impressive.
The weed flew like I'm Puck, and this is a midsummer. All right. So going forward, this I'm interested to see people's response to this. You have the Walt Disney classic, the Snow White, and the Seven Dwarfs, the one that really just took off for him, versus one that people either love or hate, Lilo and Stitch. Chris, you get to start off. What is a better movie? A better movie, and it's an interesting
Better movie.
question. Snow White.
Better movie.
Snow White, just because
It's
of a
White.
person I saw Lilo and Stitch with too many times. Snow White.
Okay. Chris pushed on Snow White. Nancy, what's a
It's not
better
even a
movie?
competition. Lilo and Stitch is barely a Disney movie. It's only a Disney movie because Disney made it. It just doesn't fall in the same category at all.
So we had two Snow Whites knocking out. Santori, it goes to you. What are you gonna give me? Are we gonna do you like some Elvis, or are you gonna go classic and go with Snow White?
I'm gonna have to go with Snow White.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Dave,
David.
you
Sorry,
got it.
David.
It started the whole thing. Dave, were you gonna argue for Lilo and Stitch? Is that where you were gonna go?
No, I was gonna say, like, we wouldn't have Disney today if it wasn't for Snow White.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if that.
It's foundational.
I'm gonna see if that foundational argument carries through to the end of the bracket system. It's really easy in the first round. Let's see how foundational you care about Snow White going forward. All right, Nancy, The Little Mermaid versus The Incredibles.
I know nobody's gonna like my answer, but The Incredibles.
All right.
Don't like The Little Mermaid. I think it's gaslighting in a lot of ways.
Wow.
I have a lot of social issues with that movie.
There's a lot of issues with The Little Mermaid carrying on through life. Incredibles is a pretty strong movie. Santori, what are you gonna say? You gonna go Little Mermaid? Or you gonna go Incredibles?
I'm gonna go with Ariel.
Stay with Ariel. Mike is staying classic. He does not care about the Me Too movement, as we've. What about Dave? Dave, are you woke? Are you with Dwayne? Are you staying with Ariel? Or are you going with The Incredibles?
No, man, I think The Incredibles is far and away a better movie.
Okay.
Just the writing, the art, characters, just a much better movie all around.
All right, that's Chris.
I'm gonna say The Little Mermaid is basically like the Lilo and Stitch, where it's kind of like it's a movie, but it's not like a great movie.
Yeah, even as a little girl, I had like 4 Disney VHSs. They were The Little Mermaid, Cinderella, The Aristocats, and Snow White. And I never watched The Little Mermaid. I gave it to my cousin.
Little Mermaid started the Disney Renaissance. The new.
I don't.
That's
Yeah, but
the one that made it. Chris, what are you gonna do? What's a better movie, or is it the history of Disney and the fact that The Little Mermaid kicked off its next golden era? What it's gonna be for you?
Little Mermaid, just because to me, The Incredibles was the opposite of what Tangled was. I saw it years after it came out, and it had been hyped up so much that it's like I appreciated what they did with it. Like, it was a good movie. I like The Little Mermaid more, and with The Incredibles, I will. Brad Bird did a fantastic job. Iron Giant, still better animated. Brad Bird movie, hands down. Even though that's not here nor there, but just have to remind people of that.
Another tie for me, and unfortunately, the only thing that was going to get The Little Mermaid past The Incredibles in my mind was going to be that it restarted Disney's golden era, but that is not enough for me to say that it was a better movie than The Incredibles. The Incredibles is by far a better movie in my mind than
It's one of the best comic book
I love
movies.
The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it's not even a comic book movie. It's one of the best superhero movies.
Yeah, it's a strong movie.
And they have a great ride in Hollywood, Disney's California Adventure, The Incredicoaster.
It is
Yeah.
a fantastic ride.
Yes.
It sucked until it was incredibly themed,
Yeah.
but now that it's incredibly themed, it's great.
Yeah.
I don't know
Great.
what
You're
happened.
like trying to keep up with Baby Jack Jack. It's so fun.
All right, so Santori, you're gonna run this one to start it off. We've got Mulan versus Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo, simple answer from Santori. Dave, they're about to make a live-action Mulan, or should it be a live-action Nemo? Which is a better movie?
Shit. This is another close one, man. I'm just gonna say Nemo for just by a hair. Just by a hair. The art is just a little bit better.
Chris, will they make a man out of you? Are you going to go with the little fish, or are you gonna shout out for Mulan?
Nemo was another one. It was just it was fun,
Yeah.
and it was something kind of different for Disney and Pixar.
Yeah,
Just
so,
fun movie.
Nancy.
Yeah.
You-
And the only thing that makes a comedy. Oh, were you still
You don't need
talking?
to, but what would you have done?
I think there was a lag there. Sorry.
You don't need to vote. What would you have done, though? I mean, I think I know what you would have done.
Nemo. Yeah. No. The only thing I love better than a comedy is a comedy that tugs at your heartstrings a little bit.
Yeah, and that's a good one that does it.
Mhm.
All right, next one. Classic versus newer classic. See, it's going to come down to what you kind of like better and think is better. Hercules versus the Aristocrats, and we start with Captain Redbeard.
I don't know. What were they again? I totally lost. It was the Aristocrats because I did the joke, the Aristocrats, and I couldn't remember what the fuck the other one was.
Hercules.
That's how forgettable that movie is. No, actually, I will go. So I'll say Hercules. It's funnier. I think it's funnier. I'm just gonna go on that pure alone.
You clearly have never heard the Aristocrats.
It's
Wait,
the dirtiest fucking movie in the
That is
world.
not the name of the movie, you guys.
A weird one.
The Aristocats. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chris, Cats or Hercules?
Hercules, James Woods.
There you go. People fucking love James Woods as Hades. It's a good role of James Woods. Nancy.
Cats. It was one of the 3 Disney movies I watched as a kid.
All right. So loyalty goes to the Aristocats. That means Santori, you get to either make me break a tie or you get to give Hercules the win. Where are you going to go?
Hercules gets the win.
Hercules gets the win. No one loved your cats, Nancy.
They're not my cats. I'm not. They're Disney's
You're
cats.
also mean to Nancy.
Everyone loves my cat. Well, wait, no, never mind.
Chris, Pinocchio or Aladdin?
Pinocchio.
Because of the classicness, the potential.
Yeah, just like I really like Aladdin, but yeah, Pinocchio. It's just it's the warm blanket thing again.
There you go. That's a fair argument. Nancy, do you have the warm blanket feeling about Pinocchio or are you an Aladdin girl?
Yeah, no, I definitely warm blanket Pinocchio. I mean, they still that When You Wish Upon the Star. They sing it at all the Disney events. Still, it's right up there with Snow White being a foundation. You know.
Santori Foundation.
Even though Pinocchio is classic and will always like remain a huge classic, what Orlando will do, but Robin Williams, man, he entertained me throughout the whole thing. So yeah, I gotta go with Aladdin.
So it's not gonna be a shutout. Dave, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna make this interesting, or are you gonna go with Pinocchio as well?
When you first asked the question, I was gonna say Aladdin, but listening to everybody else's answers, they convinced me that it would be Pinocchio for sure.
See, and this is what happens when you get to answer in order. You and Chris and Nancy changed Dave's opinion. It was going to be a tiebreaker.
Nancy's argument was very convincing. You know, when you wish upon a star, that's iconic. You can't. Yeah. But Robin Williams was great though. You can't say that.
Yeah, and if you ask me who I liked better, the actor that played Jiminy Cricket or the actor that played the Genie, that would be a different debate. But overall movie, Pinocchio.
All right. Well, you got to start the new one off then, Nancy. Hunchback of Notre Dame versus The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, Emperor's New Groove. I think it's the most underrated Disney movie of all time.
That was a simple answer. Santori.
Emperor's New Groove. It's great.
There you go. This is running quick.
Why did they not have a roller coaster yet?
Dave.
It's a hard one. Yeah, it's gonna be Emperor's New Groove. Fucking Kronk alone is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris, does it get a shutout?
Yeah. It's as much as I like the music in Hunchback, just anything with what's his name, Putty. I'm a fan of. Like you
with
said,
David
Gronk.
Spade? You just can't get enough David Spade.
No, what's his name?
Croc.
Yeah, the guy who plays Gronk, and I hate that I can't.
Patrick
Warburton. Yeah.
Putty.
The like unofficial voice of Disney.
Yeah. I love Putty. All right. That was a pretty easy one. Here's two classics, and they're going to start with you, Santori. Jungle Book, Cinderella.
Jungle Book.
Oh.
All right. So Santori, that was an easy one for Santori, but I'm looking at the other faces on this, except Chris, who has a very cool poker face. Dave, you're next. Jungle Book or Cinderella?
I'm gonna say Jungle Book, man. I think they're both on the quality scale. They're both equal, and so I'm just going with what I enjoyed most. That's the only thing that I can go off of. I enjoyed Jungle Book more.
Chris, Jungle Book, Cinderella.
Jungle Book. Same thing as Dave. Just I really enjoyed the Jungle Book.
Wow, it is a great movie. Nancy, were you gonna make it was Jungle Book gonna sweep it?
If it were which movie I personally like better, I would pick Cinderella. As a kid, I wore the tape out on that one. I had it memorized, like as a 5-year-old. My parents said I used to like say it out loud in the car on long road trips. So, but it wasn't even like the first princess movie of the foundation of Disney. So I got to give it to Jungle Book. It was a different story. It was something new. It's a better movie.
See, so some of these classics they are pretty easy decisions, and let's hope we can keep going through this because it's going to be weird. Dave, you've got Robin Hood versus Bambi.
Aww.
Once again, Chris's response is cool and not calculated. You guys all give away things on your face. Chris just hears it and he just sits there. Another button becomes unbuttoned on his shirt as he just sits there, relaxing. Dave, what are you going to go with?
I'm going to go Bambi because it's an iconic movie. And Robin Hood is great, and I love, love, love Robin Hood. But Bambi is an iconic movie. It's a better movie.
Chris, do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, same thing. Got to go with Bambi on that one. Like, both good movies, but it's iconic.
And they're going to make a new Robin Hood movie. Disney announced.
I hope it's with a live-action Fox. Nancy, do we even have to ask Santori, or are you going to argue for Robin Hood over?
I am going to argue for Robin Hood.
Oh.
It's a better story to begin with. And I think it's interesting. For me, like Robin Hood was one of the first ones where it made Marion in that story. I mean, yes, she's being held captive still and everything, but she was kind of independent in her own way too. I know she was a fox and she hung out with a chicken and everything, but those girls were sort of independent. And in a time where, other than that, our female role models were Cinderella, where you sit around and hope some guy liked your foot. You know, it was a nice It was a new story or a new character for me, for women. So,
Right.
and Bambi, the mom did all that work, and then she died, and the deadbeat dad shows up at the end, and is like, I'm gonna take care of you now. You know, it's just kind of like,
Spoilers.
you can do shit. He's practically a grown up. I
Mike
mean, what
Santori may
years
not have.
become adults? Like a year and a half later.
Mike Santori may not have seen Bambi. Spoilers. You know? Santori,
What? Bambi's mom died? No way.
They
What?
shot the bitch, and then they
No,
don't like
what?
the movie.
Oh hell, that sounds like a terrible movie.
Robin Hood or Bambi, Santori?
But no, I would go with Bambi because it's iconic, but it is really sad, and I do like Thumper a lot, but you know, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Robin Hood.
Oh, I didn't
No.
expect that
Yeah, no.
this time.
Yeah, just because of the fact that she convinced me it was a good story, and you know, it's you know, still going. I mean, Bambi, you know, you only did one, but Robin Hood, like you just said, they're making another Robin Hood movie, so they're gonna keep it going. So yeah.
They are both Disney classics. But if I lay it down and I say the story from the beginning to the end of the movie, which developed a better story and all together was a better movie, Robin Hood was a better movie. It was a better told, complete story in my mind. So Robin Hood, strangely enough, I didn't think was going to beat out Bambi, but it did.
I thought I'd be the only
And I
one.
was the one who did it, but I didn't see that coming until I had to sit and really think about that out. Beauty and the Beast versus Peter Pan. Chris.
Peter Pan.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. Troublesome stuff in there, but
It's not like Beauty and the Beast isn't troublesome.
well, yeah.
Both of these have some serious issues with lots of things, but Peter Pan put it in song, so that may be a little bit more of a problem. A couple times. There are like a couple bad songs in Peter Pan. Peter Pan, Beauty and the Beast, Nancy.
I don't know, casual racism or Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
I guess Peter Pan was a better movie, but
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast was a better animation, in my opinion. That was still hand animated, right? So
That's when they had first started bringing in, because they did CG for like the ballroom scene, but a lot of it was hand animated.
yeah. No, I got it. Peter Pan's classic. We'll give it to the classic.
There you go. Santori, you going to stick with the classic, or do you think Beauty and the Beast is better?
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook, Peter Pan wins it. Dave, would you have made it a sweep?
No, actually, I thought Beauty and the Beast was better.
I also agreed with you. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney animated movie of all time. I love Beauty and the Beast. I think it's wonderful. I would have gone with you, but what we had to say did not matter because the numbers went the other way. The last question of the first round, and then we'll know our brackets going forward. And it starts with Nancy. Old school. Dumbo versus Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp. That was easy for Nancy. Is it easy for you, Santori?
Dumbo.
Whoa, we're breaking it in half. Dave, what are you going to give me here? Dave. Dumbo. Chris.
Dumbo.
Dumbo takes it. Dumbo is a simple thing. That was it, Lady and the Tramp. Although the live action Lady and the Tramp on Disney Plus is amazing. Everyone should go check it out.
Was there no Song of the South on that list?
No. The Song of the South does not exist in Disney.
Except in that one ride.
No, that's just the song. That has nothing to do with anything.
South.
All right. So we're moving on to the second round. We're going to start off with Mike again. Mike, we got Fantasia versus Sleeping Beauty. Which of the classics gets to move forward?
Fantasia.
Mike sticks with Fantasia. Actually, you said Lion King last time, so you've changed your push.
No, I said Fantasia
you
last
said
time.
Fantasia. Dave said Lion King.
Yes.
Dave, Fantasia or Sleeping Beauty?
Sleeping Beauty.
Dave goes with Sleeping Beauty. Chris?
I'm still gonna go with Fantasia.
Okay. So, Dave, you're going to get knocked out again by 3. Let's find out. Nancy, Fantasia or Sleeping Beauty?
Fantasia.
Dave, you cannot win for losing against You vote against Fantasia, and it is not happening for you. But that's just like last time. We get to start with you on the next round. 101 Dalmatians versus Moana. Are you going to kill the classics now?
Moana.
Moana, easy. Chris.
Moana.
Moana's making a run for it. Nancy.
Yeah, Moana.
Simple, easy across. Santori, would you have made it a clean sweep?
No.
No.
101.
You would have picked 101 Dalmatians, Santori.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to watch more movies. Moana's a far better movie than that. Moving forward. Oh, Frozen versus Tangled, and it goes to Chris.
Tangled.
Tangled for Chris. Nancy.
Frozen.
Easy. Santori.
Frozen.
Dave.
Frozen.
Chris just said Tangled because he knew everyone else was going to say Frozen, and he wanted to give it a little bit of love.
I like Tangled. What can I say?
How come Brave wasn't on here?
Because Brave doesn't deserve to be on the list. Because I had to come up with exactly 32, and I stopped. Nobody got a sequel either. So,
okay, that's fair.
The Great Mouse Detective wasn't on here either, who absolutely should have been on there. All right, Nancy, Snow White versus The Incredibles.
Oh man,
and you were the one who started the Incredible push last time.
I did. Snow White. It's the whole reason any of the rest of them exist. So I gotta give it to him. Yeah.
All right, Santori.
Snow White.
Snow White is going farther than I expected it to do. I let somebody shoot. Are you going to go with Incredibles, Dave? Or Snow White?
Snow White set the standard for Disney movies.
Chris, you going to go against the grain? Or
Snow White.
Wow, Snow White keeps running up that list. All right. Moving on, we're back to you starting it off, Santori. This is a strange one. I think I know where we're going to go with this. You've got Finding Nemo versus Hercules.
Nemo.
Dave.
Nemo.
Chris.
Nemo.
Nancy would have been a clean sweep. That's it. Nemo had that one. That one was not surprising me. Oh, but this one's going to be a little bit of a challenge, and you could go with it, Dave. Emperor's New Groove versus Pinocchio.
Since we're going on the criteria of better movie, Pinocchio is going to be
we just do
on
this.
that one.
Chris.
Pinocchio.
Nancy.
Okay, I still think that Emperor's New Groove is the most underrated Disney movie of all time. But that being said, Pinocchio is a better movie.
Santori.
Embers.
Weird, but you got knocked out, and I didn't have to even really ask you because everybody else voted for Pinocchio.
Right.
Sorry, man, I got some of that weed stuck in my throat right there. Okay, my eyes are watering and shit. Chris, you get to start this one off. We have Jungle Book versus Robin Hood.
Jungle Book. Music wins out.
Oh, that was my argument for saying. I hope it doesn't come back to haunt me. Nancy.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Robin Hood. Yeah, I like that story.
Santori.
Jungle Book.
Ah, you left Robin Hood behind. What about you, Dave?
Jungle Book.
Robin Hood did not need to go through, and I wasn't going to save it this time in the argument. It was going to go Jungle Book as well. All right, and so, Nancy, Peter Pan or Dumbo?
Peter Pan.
Santori?
Dumbo.
Dave?
Dumbo.
Oh, Chris?
Dumbo.
This is it. We are down to our final 8, and we've got a lot of the classics in there. We're starting with Santori again. You have to go Fantasia. Will Fantasia move it into the final 4, or will it be Moana?
Fantasia.
All right. Santori sticks with Fantasia. Dave, what moves forward?
Yeah, Moana. No question.
Chris.
Fantasia.
Oh, Fantasia is a strong one. Nancy.
Yeah, no, Moana's my girl. I love that whole vibe, but Fantasia, it was a different Disney movie.
Dave, man. Dave, it's just not happening for you.
That magic hat is just as iconic as When You Wish Upon a Star, if you think about it, you know.
They used to have it in front of the Hollywood studios. The Great Movie Ride. It used to be a big magic hat.
It's just so boring. So boring. It's beautiful. It's just boring.
Dave hates Fantasia. All right, Dave. Well,
My parents would put that movie on to put me to sleep. So
I used to
Every time I
put
see it, man, I
Spirit
gotta
on
fall
to put kids
asleep.
to sleep.
All right, Dave. If you want to kill a classic, here's your chance because you've got to decide between Frozen or Snow White.
That's an
shit.
What's a better?
I'm gonna go. I've been pretty consistent with this. Snow White wins out because there's no Disney without Snow White.
All right, Chris, are you staying with the classics? It goes
Snow
to
White.
White.
Same thing. It's just like you don't have everything that came after if you don't have that there.
Nancy.
Hey, I was all for respecting the classics and they're the pillar of why Disney exists and everything. But if you put the story of Snow White against the story of Frozen, as a woman, I prefer the story of Frozen because the Snow White trope is old and played. And I would prefer that my daughter have Elsa as their role model.
Okay, there you go. Santori, what's a better movie, Frozen or Snow White?
I gotta follow that with Snow White. Really? It's a lot.
Fuck your feminism.
Right? Fuck your feminism. That sucks. But yeah, I was originally going with Snow White. I'm still in, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not faulting
man.
anybody for picking it. I understand why it wouldn't be fine.
Wow, Frozen
Yeah.
Frozen didn't even make the top 4, which is surprising, which makes me wonder, is there any movie out there that has the ability to beat Snow White left on this list? Next up, we are at Chris, right? Yeah. We've got Finding Nemo versus Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Oh, simple. Nancy?
Yeah, Pinocchio.
People are going classic. Santori?
I like Nemo, but yeah, we're going classic. I would say Pinocchio. Pinocchio.
Yeah,
Dave,
Pinocchio.
you're gonna make Pinocchio, okay. That's it. Well, interesting. It's going to be an interesting Final Four. All right. And so, yeah, we have no new movies in the Final Four because the last question, starting with Nancy, you have Jungle Book versus Dumbo.
Jungle Book.
Dumbo Book?
Jungle Book.
Okay. Jungle Book. Santori?
If I said book, never mind.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
All right, Chris, would you have made it a sweep?
Jungle Book.
Jungle Book. All right. Guys, not one of these movies that we still have on this list was made before made after 1965, I think. I think every single one of these movies was made before even 1960. Yeah, I mean, these movies, every one of these movies is 60 fucking years old at least. But here we go.
It shows how great they were.
Huh?
It just shows how fucking great they were.
They
60
must
years later, and they're still the best movies that Disney has put out.
Timeless.
Well, we're gonna find out what the best of the best is, and because it's fun, we're going to start again with Santori. Santori, your decision is Fantasia versus Snow White.
I
Fantasia.
knew this moment would come.
Fantasia. So there we're going. Dave, you hate Fantasia, and you embrace the love of through the whole thing. I can only imagine what your answer is going to be, but let's go with it. Where are you going to go?
Yes, Snow White. I would say go for Fantasia because everybody seems to go against what I think on this one. So, but I'm going to actually go Snow White.
There you go, Chris.
Fantasia.
There you go. All right, is Fantasia going to make it, or do I have to break the tie, Nancy?
Yeah, if I have to choose a movie with great music and great animation versus a princess story, Fantasia is a better movie.
The Princess Story.
I get it. I respect it. And who doesn't love a good princess story? It's just that was all we had for a while.
Let me ask you, by a show of hands, how many of you would have said that Fantasia was better than Frozen?
Oh,
That what?
Fantasia was better than Frozen.
I would have.
I would have.
So I just was wondering because that's what I thought it was going to be a strong contender against Snow White. So and
The
Frozen.
thing about the music is the music isn't Disney music. It's classical pieces of music, whereas when Frozen, all original music, Moana, all original music. I think the music is better in those movies than Fantasia because it's stuff that you've been hearing all along.
It's not the better movie overall. So you have to look at the music, the animation. I mean, what they were doing at the year they made it, and all of that plays a role. And I appreciate. I don't think, and I have a feeling you're one of those people who doesn't see music. And I know that sounds super crazy, but there are times when I hear music that I see things. Like, I don't know if I can explain that.
Synesthesia.
Being an artist interpret it was super cool because I always thought I was weird. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
All right,
But I
Dave.
get it. It's not technically a movie. There's no plot.
Pinocchio versus the Jungle Book, Dave.
Jungle Book.
Chris.
Jungle Book.
Nancy.
Yeah, Jungle Book.
Santori.
Jungle Book.
So Jungle Book easily makes it through. Is there
A question real quick? Is the Jungle Book, is the Jungle Cruise based off of the Jungle Book?
No.
It's based off of Walt's real life adventures, his stories that he did about animals. So, which were really popular in the very beginning.
Now I know.
Fantasia versus the Jungle Book. We're going to start back at Santori just because it bounces around. Fantasia, Jungle Book.
Damn. Fantasia.
Dave.
Yeah, it's Jungle Book, man. You don't even need, you just passed me. Jungle Book. I say Jungle Book.
Chris.
Fantasia.
Nancy.
I'm sorry, Dave. Fantasia.
The Jungle Book gets knocked out, Dave. The great part is every time that Fantasia was against anything, you voted against Fantasia, and every single person voted against you. But strangely enough, it is the first movie I wrote down. When I thought of this list of movies, the first one I thought it was Fantasia. It's the first one I wrote down. It became the one that won this thing after all. We're saying the greatest Disney movie of that entire list that we just put out there was Fantasia. Thank you so much for playing, James.
Sorry, Dave.
Poor Dave.
I really have.
Switch up the strain you have and give it another shot, you know?
You know, maybe there'll be a Mile High Podcast review that I can do. I'll get super blazed and watch Fantasia and see if I can appreciate it in my latter years.
There you go.
Or
Get
just
that
film it
40
behind
milligram
your head like a
edible.
Mystery Science Theater and do your own commentary over it. I'd
There
love
you
to hear it.
Commentary over music like that would be great.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys for all coming out. I want to give you guys each a chance to do a shout out and a promotion real quick. I'm going to start in the same circle I was going before because it works with my mind. It's clockwise the way I see it. Santori, give me a promotion. Tell me what people should see about you.
What they should see is my Facebook page on Facebook Santori Comedy Facebook page, and also World Generation Podcast. Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock, Colorado time, 9 o'clock, Minnesota, and 10 o'clock, Orlando, Detroit, and Pittsburgh.
We do understand how time zones work. Thank you so much for being our guest in here. Santori.
Thanks for having me.
Dave, give us what we need to hear from you.
Yeah, coming up this week, I'm going to have another episode of my Race Through Space read-along podcast. I'll be starting off book 2 of my Race Through Space series, The Wave of Time. That's been really fun to put together, so that'll be up sometime next week.
Excellent. Chris, what do you got for us?
Trying to get back into regular streaming with the Nerd Corner, so definitely check on there, twitch.tv/nerd_corner. Been doing some of the tilt brush streams on there, the Google Art thing, and then working on some YouTube stuff as well. And you'll find all of that under the Truckee Pacific YouTube page.
Nice. Nancy.
I've been working with Melody on her music stuff, and this week I plan to get dressed every day. So
there you go. Sometimes all you can ask for.
I will send you updates.
There you go. Nancy does get dressed, which is an important thing that we all need to learn. As for me, you can check out James and the Giant Country. We are going to have some guests on the next show. We got a crap ton of listeners last time and viewers. It takes place in Nerd Corner Studios. Chris is the killer editor on that.
Down in the back
as
cave.
far as how to reach us, you can reach us at the Mile High Podcast on Facebook. You can reach us at the Nerd Corner on Facebook. You can reach us at Santori on Facebook. And you can reach us at Truckee Pacific on Facebook. Our email is at milehighpodcast@gmail.com and Truckee Pacific Productions @gmail.com. Our Twitter is @High Podcast. I would like to thank everybody for doing this Zoom thing. I'm glad that we got to see inside Chris's bat cave. I hope you all are staying safe. I hope your families are staying safe. I hope you're watching your hands. And thank you all, and good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Nice.